Hello students. So today we are going to see the topic of relative velocity. Relative velocity between two moving objects. Say for example, object A is moving in this direction and object B is also moving in the same direction. So for this case, we will write that case 1, we will find the relative velocity between these two objects. So I am going to write relative velocity of A with respect to B. So we will pronounce this as a relative velocity of A with respect to B. So the formula will be VA velocity of A minus velocity of B. So we are writing this in vector form. So for the same case, if I am writing the relative velocity of B with respect to A, then the formula will be the same thing, which is VB minus VA. So in all the relative velocity formulas, you will have that minus term in between. And so this is for case 1, when both the objects moving in the same direction. So now we'll go for case 2, where the objects are in the opposite direction. So for this, the formula is also the same, but we need to decide which one is positive and which one is negative. So if we take that A in the positive x-axis, say for example, and the opposite direction will be in the negative x-axis, it is straight opposite, 180 degree opposite to that. In that case, if I write the relative velocity of VA with respect to B, then I will write VA, since VA is positive, you write plus VA minus of minus VB. So this minus stands for the relative velocity formula. Well, this minus stands for the direction of the velocity of object B, which is in the opposite direction. So if you calculate this, you will get VA minus of minus will become plus, and it is VB. So this is the relative velocity of the two objects when you consider A with respect to B. In similar way, if you consider B with respect to A, for these two oppositely moving objects, so you have to write the VB first, and VB is in opposite direction, so you have to put minus here, and the formula minus is here, and you write that VA, which is positive, you write that VA actually here. So this minus is in the formula, and actually the direction of VA is positive, so just you are substituting that. Well, this minus is the direction of VB, which is in opposite direction, you can see here. So this is minus, so if you take minus commonly out, you will get VB plus VA. Okay, so this will be the relative velocity of VB with respect to A. Okay, and so there is a third case when you have relative velocity between V and A with some angle theta degrees. In such a case, we will write VAB will be equals to square root of VA square plus VB square minus 2 VA VB into cos of the theta. So using this formula, you can find the resultant, that is relative velocity of VAB. Similarly for VBA, we can put VB in the first term and VA in the second term. Okay, so hope you would have understood these things, that is relative velocity. And finally, I want to say one thing, a small example. If you are traveling in a car and another car is overtaking you, or you are overtaking another car, So this relative velocity is the thing which is in the middle of that. You can experience. Okay, so let me give you a simple example of that. Okay, for to understand this relative velocity better. So you are traveling in a car with a velocity of a. So this is your car. VA is your car. So it is having a velocity of some 80 kilometers per hour. And somebody else is traveling with a velocity of some 50 kilometers per hour. So you are actually overtaking. So the car A is overtaking car B, but both are traveling in the same direction, but you have overtaken this. So if you want to find the relative velocity of A with respect to B, then you have to simply substitute these velocities and subtract. So automatically 30 kilometers per hour is the velocity, which is called the relative velocity between you two. So you may experience, you may see, you are actually slowly moving when you are overtaking, but actually both are moving there. So you may experience this relative velocity. So that is what we are calculating. Okay, hope you have to understand these things. We will see that rest of this topic in the upcoming videos. Bye.